Welcome to the Many Worlds Podcast. Listener discretion is advised. This anthology is a work of fiction. Any characters, events, and businesses have been fictionalized or completely fabricated. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, or actual events is purely coincidental, or happened in an alternate dimension. For most of my life, I've been unseen, in the shadows. Name's Elias Crow. You're a gentleman bastard, sanctified in all the magical and supernatural, from voodoo to alchemy. A jack of all trades, master of none, except fucking people up. That I excel at. I probably shouldn't spill the secrets about the supernatural world, but hey, better to ask forgiveness than permission. The circle's broken, a curse removed from my soul. I'm my own boss now, taking cases normal cops and the Trismegistus won't touch. The Tris, they're alchemists, policing the mystical arts. Powerful, sure. But hey, I don't fear them. I'm just a private contractor with some unusual connections. Here's the thing, though. I've traveled to alternate worlds, seen things as foreign as a blue sun. I've heard stories and poetry from across dimensions. Now, I'm near one of those interdimensional cracks, receiving signals, and I've decided to send one back to tell you of the many worlds out there. Call it fiction if you want. But this tale, I found it from a hunter down the spire. It's about the genesis of magic in humans. Man rising to snatch fire from the gods. I call it the coming of man. The coming of man. In the deep bones of time, before people wrote symbols to synthesize and convey their thoughts and ideas, humanity was just another fruit on the bush, to be plucked and eaten by the wild monsters of the night. From the cold chuckle of the hyena to the sudden violence of the big cats, humans spent their nights in fear. All animals spoke to one another then, the language of mind and body. The animal called man was no different. Due to their bumbling nature, all took pity on the creature whose young took so long to grow. Not even as strong as their cousin the ape, all animals were in sync with the motion of the earth, ocean, and sky. They'd lost their body hair and painted their skin. In time, they used sticks and stones as tools and weapons. The discovery of how to make fire changed things. All agreed that man was clever. They conspired, hunted, trapped. They wore the skins of their victims, used the tough bones as weapons. They emulated the apex predators of the bush and plain, till finally they killed mighty lion and gazelle alike. Their ferocity and ingenuity was unmatched. As they created, so did they ponder their place in creation. In those days, the spirit gods of each animal was closer to the earth. Primal forces of creation crackling with raw power. They looked curiously at the animal called man. His camps grew. They cut down the trees and put up walls of wood and earth, separating themselves from Gaia as they multiplied and grew. A time came where they called upon the spirits and communed with the intangible and magical, trapping minor elementals and learning their secrets and the hidden truths of the universe. The transgressions started off as minor crimes. Bravery and reward sometimes walk hand in hand. Beware the razor's edge, though, for folly waits. in the deep, echoing abyss. One day, the tribe of man pushed those ancient deities too far, feeding off a god, so that they might possess its power. Shame meant nothing to the animal that was man. Their jealousy had no bounds. Their power and ingenuity grew exponentially. Quan was a wildebeest whose horns glowed like sunshine, the master of the all-encompassing plains. She strode through the yellow long grass, powerful in her glory, surrounded by the herd. Even lion and hippo bowed when she came to the watering hole. Jealousy isn't just a creation of humans. And a lesser spirit, one night, told the animal called man where Quan slept. They hunted the god and ate not just her flesh, but one had the audacity to drink the life's blood from Quan's heart. Knowledge gained by murder. The spirits of all corners of the earth met and decided that they would take away the human's ability to speak, deafening them to carnal beats and rhythms of the earth, thinking the punishment would drive humanity to rethink its place in the wilds, to submit and learn the error of their ways. They summoned the winds and the rains, and Dola, the elephant god, sounded his trunk like a trumpet and cast man from the chorus of life, flattening their camps, destroying the crops they cultivated, and killing as many of the hairless heretics as possible. They'd no longer see the ley lines or hear the song the creators sung, no longer speak with the dead. Some learned from the punishment and turned back, trying once again to unify with the universe, journeying into nature to better commune with the elemental spirits, shaman, witches, sorcerers, those born with the gift. All wished to understand the ancient gods. Having tasted the heart, they sought knowledge of the sublime mysteries more than power. Man, even more crazed, decided long before the expulsion from the brotherhood of nature that they would rule the world. They, and they alone, had dominion over the land, ocean, and sky. So they believed, and some believed they had dominion over their own brothers and sisters, keeping them in bondage. The gods wept with disgust. Instead of being chastised, humanity was emboldened. Instead of being brought low, they rejoiced in ignorance and freedom, secure in the false assertion that they'd won. Learning just enough to be dangerous is like running down a dark path towards a light at a distance. You may see the light, but break yourself on the path.
You know, not too long ago, I was broken so badly that I didn't know how I'd ever get up. That kind of hurt. It leaves an everlasting mark on you. I was once cursed by a false family. I've been reborn, and now I've become a kind of cosmic antenna, looking into the great big beyond. The omniverse is vast and uncaring, yet I walk the crossroads between realities, listening to the frenetic hum of birth and destruction, a psychopomp traversing the unknown. This fever dream, this cacophony of voices, perhaps a premonition, perhaps an echo. I call it slouching towards catharsis.
Slouching towards catharsis. Wake up to the couch cushion lines on dehydrated skin. Tired-eyed, yawning chump humped towards the back of the hall. Fingernails dirty, hair a sweaty mess. Rowdy, degenerate mice at a party where snakes are lurking in the dark. red glowing eyes just outside of the tree line. Minutemen are milking pompadour puppies till their bodies are floating like pulp. Life is on a conveyor belt towards the eventual hammer strike of oblivion. This is a recipe, the only way to travel faster than light.
Your civilization thanks you for your sacrifice. The goddess tore through the ground, her body like a furnace. The guttural roar moves faster than sound. The villagers are on solid ground one moment the next. The earth is moving like waves in the ocean. Magma pumps through her terrible visage, cooling rock become dark spots along her body. An explosion of superheated geysers of steam tears from her chest. The things that lived on the island only hurt for a second, as the blast of heat cracked their flesh like glass. Careful who you love. Automatic tin men marching under amber streetlights. The autumn night was bitter, but the blood they spilled was hot, powered by faith and hypocrisy. Black-booted metal men, unfeeling, polished to a gun-blued shiny finish. They kill any undesirables. In a month's time, the burial furnaces can be seen from space. Extermination of the brutes was a bit overzealous and contributed to the planet's quick decline. Paradise is a prison.
Paradise is a prison. 7-foot-tall, winged marsupial men hang from a canopy of rainforest 15 miles high. The forest feeds on a massive freshwater ocean. Before we got there, scientists had nicknamed the planet Destiny 4. A promised second homeland has turned into a death trap for any moving organisms dumb enough to make contact with the ground. It was decided the colony ships would fire plasma cannons from orbit. The energy from the beam is hotter than a star, yet the thick vegetation grows back knitting together minutes after the cannons cut 1,000-mile swaths of jungle off the planet. Anyone who slept for the next 48 hours ship time reported hearing children's laughter and the steady drumbeat of terror. Like a cold steel smile in the dark, it was then that a lot of us knew we weren't going home.
Klein 79 was an exact reproduction of the screen idol Johnny B. Dean, who consequently was a mixture of Brad J. Pitt and Idris Elba, and of course late 1990s Johnny Depp before the pirate movies. Across the net, people joked that the gene editors had turned the charisma to 11. His mothers were a mixture of the DNA of Salma Hayek and Frida Kahlo's ghost. Everyone thought it was funny when he talked about being president of the earth. It turned out the ultimate hubris was voting for a meme candidate as a lark and big fuck you to the system. But when Klein 79 nuked Berlin, he wore a domino mask, like a 1930s vaudeville villain. The final straw was when he invaded California and shot the governor in the head, dressed as Che Guevara.
I will never forgive you. Being kind isn't an invitation to madness. Weakness is the inability to consider the ramifications of your actions. Peace is merely a concept perpetrated by rich people gazing into the grave. There is a part of the universe where eels the size of supermassive dark matter tendrils light up the void with 1,200 black holes as armor. The alien behemoth's spines glow with the uncertainty of eternity. Mouths open to swallow Jupiter-sized planets. Above, there is a chariot made of flames that roars past, dragging another universe that's being swallowed by the head of a serpent.
Cue the audience's applause. Malcolm rides in the back of a car just outside of Mexico City. He's going to Stanford in the fall. That is, until a pillar of unreality solidifies on the highway and the Range Rover flips and has several 100 billion molecules rearranged. The local authorities will never tell his parents that his arms were torn off and flipped inside out when the car rolled. Malcolm's friend Jamie will fall through a crack in reality. He'll die inside a funhouse mirror world naked alone and having spent a month feeding on what fell through the interdimensional cracks. The last thing he heard was the growling as the creature in the dark pounced on him. In Mexico City, a few months after the accident, a a Bruja will give his spirit a kiss and send him on his way through the crack in the sky she'd known all her life. It matched the off-colored scar across her face, gazing towards the horizon, hoping for some sort of catharsis.
That's all for our first episode. Next time, we'll explore the mysterious world of black ink and delve into stories about those who protect and serve. Want more content? Check out our visual episodes on YouTube and support us on Patreon. Find and follow the Many Worlds podcast wherever you get your shows. Until next time, friends, keep dreaming and exploring.